Good evening. My name is Jeff Krzyzewski. I'm the Microsoft Analytics and IoT leader at IBM Services. Thank you for coming to our session tonight. I know it's been a long first day of sessions, so appreciate your time. It's been a bit like drinking from the fire hose because there's a lot going on around the conference. So let's jump right in with the how and why to harness the power of IoT in your environment. 22.5 billion devices will be connected to the internet by 2020. That's over 2.5 quintillion bytes of data being created every day. That's a lot of data. And so it brings the question to companies everywhere is how can I take all of that data and get useful information that I can make insightful business decisions with? So first we need to look at the two types of IoT. There's IoT in the cloud and there's IoT on the edge. IoT in the cloud is your traditional IoT. It's normally what you think of when you're thinking of IoT. You're getting a lot of information. Maybe you're doing remote device management, monitoring. You're connecting all of that data. You're using the infinite computing power of the cloud to generate insightful information. You're not really looking, like you do in IoT on the edge, for really near real-time responsiveness and interaction with your devices. So IoT in the cloud is infinite computing power, storage power. IoT in the edge, we're bringing the storage and computing power closer to the devices so we can get near real-time responsiveness. And what does that journey look like? Well, IBM's approach to this is simple. We want to connect things, and this is the Microsoft Azure IoT reference architecture, so that we can generate insights, so that we can make useful business decisions and take actions on those decisions. So there's a whole lot, and I can actually spend the remaining time of this session just talking to this one journey here. We have so many choices along the way in doing this, whether we're doing IoT in the cloud or whether we're doing IoT on the edge. And the technologies involved is across brands, across vendors. It's everything Azure, IBM, Google. Everybody has their technologies to make this journey. And that's where IBM has an approach to this. So why do we want to get real-time data? Why do we want to get live data and make useful information out of it? And what does an architecture that goes on this journey look like? So in this one, we're actually meshing device connectivity. We're using Watson Alchemy for natural language. You're using Watson API for Twitter. And we're meshing that all together to get useful insights through Power BI visualizations. So this is just a mishmash of the many different technologies so that you're not necessarily locked into one particular vendor, because you don't have to be. You can use them all. Azure IoT Suite is pretty robust. There's also other ones that you can use. And why do we want to use streaming analytics? Because right now, 75% of corporations aren't doing it and are losing approximately $31.5 billion a year not taking advantage of it. And that's your value prop right there. You're losing to your competitors if you're not harnessing the power of IoT in your environment. So our approach and the data and analytics reference architecture walks across the many different pillars. And here you'll see different vendors, different brands, Cortana, Watson, Azure, ClickView, Cognos, all sorts of different brands. And this creates a problem around the IoT space. So how do I make that decision on what technology is right for me? And that's a very valid question to ask yourself. And that's where IBM Services comes into play and can help you along that journey. We have the thought leadership and people that can help you determine what's the best solution for your particular needs. And when we go into IoT device lifecycle management, this decision's pretty clear because we have an end-to-end solution around device lifecycle management that manages the provisioning, the monitoring, the downtime. We can take embedded modules, IoT devices, just about anything that you have in your environment. We can connect it up. We can do Google, AWS, Azure, mix them all together, and we have a large ecosystem of partners that we work with to implement these solutions. And it's all cloud, web, mobile enabled from a centralized location. When we get to the other services that we offer in this space, we also have tooling with the unified monitoring and management platform that we built that connects to these clouds, that connects to these devices at the edge, and provides those real-time insights and the managing and provisioning capabilities. And that's a lot of power and a really powerful engine that will drive your device systems. Now, let's say you're not looking to go all the way in with an end-to-end solution, and that's too much. Maybe this is a Microsoft conference and you're looking at the Microsoft space. Well, the Microsoft practice at IBM does offer services around the Azure IoT suite of services. So we can help you do all of these same things if maybe you don't need the full end-to-end solution. Maybe you're just looking to take a dip in the space. We can help you with whatever your needs are with our services management solution around Azure Analysis Services and the Azure IoT suite. Now, to get to the interesting part of our session is the demonstration. I'll pass it over to my colleague, Rahul, who will walk you through IoT on the edge with IBM's lifecycle services.
Sure. So I wanted to go back a couple of slides. Sure, thanks. So I just wanted to bring this up again. And first of all, hello and welcome, everyone. So, I just wanted to talk you through that if you have to implement an IoT solution, what does it actually entail, right? So you probably start off with the applications, and Jeff spoke about the cool features that you have in Azure IoT. So if you build your application on Azure IoT, you will be able to leverage all those cool features around analytics and machine learning, right? But that's really one aspect of the solution, right? What you have to really think about is starting from the devices, right? What is going to be my entire solution around the devices? And it will be based on a business outcome, right? So the selection of the devices is based on a business outcome. And then once you know what device you're going to deploy, how is it going to talk to the cloud, right? You've got so many protocols out there today, BLE, ZigBee, cellular, non-cellular. How do you decide actually what is the protocol that is best for you, right? So these look like reasonable steps in terms of putting together an IoT solution. The problem is that this market today is extremely fragmented, right? So you have more than 900 companies actually operating in this space. So how do you put together an IoT solution, right? And that's where we come in. So you can go to the next slide. So this offering stack that we have, it essentially covers all the aspects of your IoT value chain, right? So we have a core set of services, IoT device lifecycle services. It includes consulting, it includes managed services, and we have also built in the integrations that you would need for connecting to either your application or your cloud platform. So you see that these are all the integrated services that we have. And in order to provide a managed service, like an IoT device is a corporate liable device. It needs monitoring and the management. So we have also layered in the service management framework on top of that, right? So this is really the offering stack that we have for implementing an end-to-end entire IoT solution for you, right? Okay, you can go to the next slide. So how do we do this, right? We essentially walk you through the entire implementation process, right from the strategy part of it, where we define an IoT outcome-based solution. Then we actually define the solution architecture for you. We will do POCs. A lot of IoT devices, like I said, the IoT device market is very fragmented. There's lack of standardization. So there would also be a need to do a simulation of that device in the lab, right? So we'll do POCs. We will do pilots for a limited site, and then actually move on to the deploy and run, right? Deploy is where we'll actually go out on the field and put the devices where they need to be. and including site deployment. They will need staging, kitting, and then we move over to the run phase where we actually start continuously monitoring and managing those devices. So this is essentially the entire journey for your IoT implementation. Okay. So now let me walk you through a real life example. This was for one of the largest food services company globally. Their end customers are fast food chains. The business objective of this solution was to get the food faster on the plates of the end customer, right? So think about a fast food chain. They really want to serve their customers fresh food. So how do they do that, right? This was the solution that we designed for them. We were measuring the time it takes for a fresh food package to go from the manufacturing site to the store, and temperature monitoring was happening continuously across this entire process. So we had sensors deployed inside the trucks, and we also had the RFID readers installed from the manufacturing to distribution to store, right? So you could track how much time it takes for that food package to reach from distribution, from manufacturing to the store, and see how it is being maintained. All of this data that we are collecting from all the IoT devices was actually being fed to our unified IoT monitoring and the management platform. Using this platform, we are also able to manage these devices, push firmware updates as needed, monitor the availability, and then from an application perspective, this data was actually going to a blockchain, right? And blockchain is actually a very good application to use if you're looking at food provenance for perishable good items, right? So this is how the device level architecture looked like. So we had the end edge devices, which were the temperature sensors, RFID readers. We had implemented a gateway. Now, the gateway aspect is very important because if you have to make your solution scalable, you need to have the ability for a hub where various devices could talk, right, in future. So today we have these two devices. Tomorrow, if you want to implement a pressure sensor, for example, it's a very easy plug and play, right? You could just install it with and configure it to the gateway, and it starts working, right? So this is basically a very scalable solution that we had designed for this customer. The gateway was talking over cellular as well as Ethernet to the unified monitoring and the management platform, and then from here the data was actually going to the blockchain application I just explained, right? Okay. So these were a few dashboards that we had developed for this customer. This essentially gives a business visualization of all the data that we are collecting, right, from the edge. So the first dashboard that we did was, for somebody who is a supply chain manager, right? A supply chain manager will essentially be able to see, where is the status of the packages or the shipments on a given day, right? So, and then he'll also be able to see the health of those packages. How many of them are good? How many of them are at a warning stage? How many of them are bad, right? So this gives a visualization for a supply chain manager on the packages throughout that supply chain process. The second dashboard that we did was for somebody who is a store manager in a fast food chain or a restaurant, right? He will be able to see what is the status of the packages inside the store, right? How many of them are expired, how many of them are expiring, and how many of them are actually fresh, right? So this gives a consolidated view to a store manager on what is the status of his inventory, right? And the last and the final, dashboard for somebody who is a device administrator, right? He will be able to see, what is the status of the devices that are deployed. He will be able to push firmware updates, whether they are active, whether they are inactive. It basically helps him or her, able to manage those devices in real time, right? And it gives a good dashboard where you could filter the devices based on the type of device, what function they are performing, and then he could take the remedial actions if one of the devices fails, right? And then we could, we can develop similar dashboards really, depending on, which industry the customer is in and what is his use case, right? So this is what I showed you just for one example, but we are very flexible around the kind of dashboard that we could create for the clients. So that's pretty much it. I think this is the last slide that I had. We have a lot of more stuff in the booth, and we are right there in the corner, booth number 1306. So please drop by, for any questions that you might have, and both of us will be happy to help you. Any questions? We could probably take some questions now. Yeah. Okay.
Two questions. First one is your strategy purely consulting, or is it consulting around Watson when it comes to IoT? Second, in the complete stack that you showed, a lot of it is implementation services, right? Things like streaming data would not work well with Power BI, cognitive services, you're on the Azure platform with Event Hub. Why would you remove data from that to go to SoftGrid to put it into IBM?
So our strategy is we have a full set of Microsoft services across the Microsoft stack. Everything from a thought leadership perspective through a managed services perspective. So we actually, the answer is yes and yes. What you tend to get with us is a vendor neutral approach where we don't really care if you're Microsoft or IBM technologies or other technologies. We're going to provide you the right solution that makes sense for your company, regardless of who's selling it. So Watson, we do like to integrate with Watson. We also like to integrate with Azure and Cortana Intelligence Suite whenever it's been rebranded to these days. It keeps changing names. But we will connect to whatever makes sense for your case. So we like to integrate with SAP and Adobe, as Satya mentioned today. So you name it, we'll provide solutions that cover both. It's a good question. Some people didn't know that IBM has a Microsoft practice.
So, and just to add on to what Jeff said, essentially what I was speaking about is the overall service and guiding a customer right from the strategy phase to the run and manage stage. So the entire suite of services, what we are covering, and technologies, like he said, we are quite agnostic. We could either use Watson or the Microsoft stack. So we are really flexible around that.
And from a deeper dive perspective, we typically take reference architectures that are best of breed as a reference architecture without regard to vendor, and then plug in the technologies that make sense, because you may have licenses with one technology and other licenses with another technology, and maybe a business group that wants to use Power BI. And now you what are you doing with all those Tableau licenses that you had or the ClickView that you were using? So we integrate with just about everything. Any other questions? Well, thank you for coming to our session tonight. Feel free to stop by 1306. We'll be around all week.
Thanks, everyone.